everybody. Hello, hello. It is 3 o'clock on the dot. I'm actually not running around like a crazy lady this time. I'm just grabbing a cough drop. I'm actually feeling a lot better, but still have a little bit of a cough going on. Kim, I'm glad to see you could join us. I guess you're working today. And Rhonda, I saw your post, Rhonda, that you made the little Christmas ornaments. I'm glad that you liked them. So fun. I love mine. So I'm glad you had a good time with them. And Tina, hey Tina, Harley Lady 2000, Teresa, hi Teresa. So yeah, I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. We had a really, really low-key Thanksgiving. Our cruise to Mexico is in, my goodness, in a week. We fly out next Friday, and then our cruise starts on Saturday. So I had to check in and get everything ready. So it's becoming real. But it's snowing today, and not just a little bit. This is our first major snow of the season. It's actually sticking. So let's hope we don't have that all week. So got up and went into Billings this morning. We have this sports, it's called Shields. It's like a sports shop, I guess. And they had the Crocs on sale. You know, the shoes that have the fur inside. And I got mine a couple years ago. And last year they didn't have them. And when we saw that they were on sale, 40% off, I told my husband, I said, yeah, let's go get me a new pair. So we went there this morning, ran a few errands, and when we were headed back, it started to snow. We're like, oh gosh, I'm glad we left early. So yeah, so so let's hope that we're not caught in the snow trying to go out next Friday. So we'll see. We got a week. Yeah, I really like the snow too, Rhonda, but just not when I'm trying to travel. So hopefully we won't have any issues next week. All right, so enough about me. Today we're going to work on a cluster book that I've been promising you guys forever. Hopefully you guys have been saving your boxes. I'm going to be working with a pita box. It's not the Cheez-Its box. I actually didn't have a Cheez-Its box. So this one will be a little bit smaller, but when I show you this, you're going to see that you can do this project with all different sizes, and I'll kind of explain to you my process and how I go about it. Hey, Delina. So yeah, let me go ahead and transition down, and we'll just kind of get to it. I don't know. Let's see. Ooh, I almost ended the broadcast. That wouldn't have been good. Don't know how long we're going to go today. We'll go as long as we want to, I guess. But really, my goal today is to show you how to put the base together, and then I'll send you away to do your homework. So let me show you what we're going to make. I know you guys know, but I'm going to show you anyway. So this is what we're going to make. This is what I'm going to show you how to make. Let's just put it that way. All my little ephemera pieces. And this was my Cheez-Its box. And it's a thick one. This was my very first one. I don't remember what this box was. But it's a thinner one. This is 1 inch, and this is 3 inches. And that's important because that's going to determine how many pages you're going to have. So my rule of thumb is for every 1 inch on your spine, you're going to make 1 page. And I'll show you how to do this as well. So this is 3 inches. So I have 3 pages in here. This is 1 inch. I have 1 page in here. So that's kind of the rule of thumb. So you need to figure out based on your spine, and this is 3 inches, but as you can tell, it's a little bit smaller. So you can do these any size you want. If you just want to, you know, practice, these are throwaway boxes. So I have several behind me, and I'm going to make several because I like these. These are great for storing my ephemera pieces. Otherwise, they end up on my desk. But I like them because they sit really nice on a shelf, and then you just pull them down when you want to use them. You can't find your boxes. All right, so I'm working with this Townhouse pita box, okay? And you're going to want to cut it down. Let me get a box that's not cut down. You're going to want to open it up, okay? So open up your edges, and then what you're going to want to do is cut out Robin, cut out one of your sides. Now, this one is kind of crappy looking, so I'm not going to use this one, but try to find a box that hasn't been all crumpled and bent up. We're going to use this one just to cut up, but you're going to want to cut off one of your edges, okay? So just be really careful about it. Try to be as straight as possible, but then you can also straighten it up in your cutting machine once you get it flat. But this is the easiest way that I have found to start out your box, okay? Try to get it flat. And then once you get it flat, then you can put it through your cutting machine. You want to get rid of these panels. So, you know, use the line, cut it through your cutting machine, and then use the lines again, cut it through your cutting machine, and you can put these flat through your cutting machine, guys. Just line it up and cut it. But you want to end up with a box like this. Okay? Now, if you have any questions along the way, I'm going to be watching the chat. Let me know if something doesn't make sense. It really isn't too difficult, but certainly my explanation may not make sense. But that's essentially what you want to do, is you want to end up with a book. You want to end up with a back spine and 2 sides. Now, as you can see, this book here is a lot smaller than the box, so I trimmed it. For this box here, and again, you need to figure out what's going to work for you. And I'm going to give you the measurements, then you guys are going to have to rely on yourself to try to put this together. But my pages are 5 1/4. So this is 5 1/4, and this is 5 1/4. So if you need measurements, you know, my back edge is 2 3/4, almost 3, but my pages are 5 1/4. All right. This one, of course, is a little bit bigger. As you can see, it's mostly taller. It's a little bit longer, but it was a bigger box. I had a bigger box to work with. Really, what you want to make sure is that you just have, you know, a straight page. So figure out, you might be able to get more than 5 1/4. Mine ended up being 5 1/4, which was fine. But the biggest thing is to get it into a book shape, getting rid of the top and the bottom, and then one of the sides. So does that make sense, guys? I want it to make sense before I move on. So let me know if that makes sense. And then we'll go on to the pages. Just guys, give me a make sense, give me a thumbs up. Let me know you all are catching what I'm laying down here. All right, I'm going to move on. So once you have your book, you want to figure out, with the wide spine, should you reinforce it? I did not, Kim, But that is a good point. This was very heavy, and I had to add lots of glue. I used double-sided tape and I used glue because my pages were heavy. So I wouldn't go much heavier than 3 pages, because once you start filling it with your ephemera and stuff, they get pretty heavy. So I did not reinforce it at all. It was fine. These boxes are pretty good anyway, so nah. I mean, you can if you want to. I just didn't have to. All right. So this is 3 inches, and the height is, this is a big one. This is a big guy. This is 8 3/4. So this is the biggest one. This was my Cheez-Its box. I would not go any bigger than this, guys. The pages get really heavy once you start adding your paper, once you start adding your ephemera. So that's my recommendation, is don't go any bigger than that. You can go smaller. You can go thinner. You know, this was a really, really good size. I've had no problems with this one at all, but I wouldn't go any bigger than this. This is my Christmas one. This probably is a good size here. So that's what I thought I would do today for you. All right, so once you have your base, this is what it should look like, all right? You're going to have your pages in here. You're going to have your paper obviously here, and then your back. These are your pages. Everybody got my Cheez-Its, right, exactly. Your spine, so first of all, this is heavy. This is heavy paper. This isn't your regular paper. This is heavy paper. Use heavy paper. Do not, I cannot emphasize, do not use flimsy paper. This has to be sturdy, guys. This is going to be holding all of your ephemera. Make sure it is sturdy paper. Your spine on this is a 1/2 inch. So when you're figuring out the length, and I'll talk about this one here, when you're figuring out your length, your spine is going to be a 1/2 inch. And then on this particular book, my pages are 5. Let me make sure I'm not lying here. So I went 5, I went a 1/2 inch, and then I went 5 again. So this is what my page looks like. And I cut out 3 of them because the spine will support 3. All right. My length is 7 1/4. All right. So like I told you, this length here on my book is 7 1/2. And this page is 7 1/4. Kraft cardstock always seems sturdier than others. Is the paper like light chipboard? Gosh, Tina, I wouldn't call it light chipboard. I would call it heavy cardstock. I have white card base that's 110 pound that I use for the base of my cards. I think that would be fine. But I got this on Amazon. I should try to find it for you guys. I'll try to link it in the description box when I'm finished. Because this is really heavy and I bought it because of the sturdiness of it. So I'm going to do 3 pages. I went ahead and already cut them out. Like I said, it's not cardboard. I wouldn't say it's cardboard. It's definitely paper. And like I said, I got it on Amazon. So I'll find it after the live and I'll link it for you guys if you guys are interested. Because this works. This is all I use for my books. All right, so once I have my pages, I've got my 1/2 inch spine, my page is 5, my page is 5. I'm ready to go. My spine is almost 3 inches, so I'm going to make 3 pages. It's a 1/2 inch shorter than my book, okay? And a little bit shorter in length as well. All right, so hopefully that makes sense. Does anybody have any questions about the pages, the book, anything at all, because we're going to start structuring this right now. So let me know what y'all think. If you have any questions or anything like that. I am going to decide what I want to do in the middle here. Alright, so on some of my books, I think this one, I didn't do anything on the back's inside spine. This was my very first one. I didn't. On my Christmas one, I put washi tape to give it a little bit more decorative look. The spine, what was the page spine? The page spine is a 1/2 inch. They're going to be a 1/2 inch on all of your page spines, regardless of the size of your book. Kim, of course you can ask questions. 1/2 inch, yes. So you can decide. I need more light. Ooh, there we go. You can decide how big you want your book, but your pages need to be a 1/2 inch. Yep, half right here. All right, so I've got 3 of them pretty much ready to go. I'm trying to decide what I want to do for this spine. Now, the next big decision you're going to have to make is your paper. So I'm using this Graphic 45. I wanted to use paper that would coordinate because we're going to be decorating all the pages. So that was important to me. Trying to decide if I want paper on my spine. Let's see here. Okay, so I went ahead and grabbed some of my, this is my tissue washi tape. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and add this so it's not just brown, right? That's kind of boring. Remember, you're not going to need everything to be covered, but you can cover everything, that's fine, but you don't have to if you don't want to. So I'm going to just add some here, just so it's not brown, right? So let's just add some and then we'll cut it. Yeah, Graphic 45 is so pretty, but these journals are really pretty on a shelf as well, Kim. So I want my journals to be pretty. So I chose pretty paper. I can enjoy it more sitting on my shelf, holding my ephemera pieces, than I can in my 12 by 12 paper pack. But that's just me. If y'all get enjoyment out of it being in your paper pack, by all means keep it in your paper pack. Alright, so let's just add some background here. I think I might be able to get away with just 3. Let's see. No snow yet, Robin? We're snowing today. Alright. Yes, Max is snorting away. Alright. It's kind of sad. We've got to put him in a kennel. Oh, what the heck is that? Got a lot of snorting going on over there, dude. We got to put him in a kennel when we go on our trip, and he's never been in a kennel, so I'm a little sad about that. All right. So let's just, that should be good enough. But maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe I'll add a little bit more. Why not, right? I don't use my washi tape very much anymore, so I might as well find a place for it. Alright, so let's just... Yeah, we saw the snow plow trucks on the freeway coming home from Billings. That is one thing really nice about Montana, is they do know how to handle snow. That's for sure. Alright, I think that's good. So now my background won't be brown. Alright, let's see. Okay. You like the tape gag? Ah, it's so old, Tina. So old. I'm trying to use more of my stuff. Alright. I think that's pretty good. Okay. So now that I have my tape, we're going to go ahead and... You're already over the snow? This was our first snow, Robin. So... If I wasn't traveling, I'd say bring it on, but I really don't want to have problems when I'm traveling. All right. Now, there's a couple ways you can approach this. Couple of ways you can approach this. You can decorate first and then glue down, which is what I would recommend, but I want to show you how to put this together. So I'm going to decorate afterwards. All my other ones I decorated afterwards, so you can definitely do that. But for ease, and once you kind of know what you're doing, decorating first is always the better choice. Okay. I'm drinking hot cider, and it tastes good. All right. Now... I'm going to use, I don't hardly use double-sided tape, but I'm going to use double-sided tape and wet glue. I like the wet glue because it gives me movement time, which is what we need. Alright, so let's just, let me find my... Let's go ahead and cut this. I use a straight blade, and it works really well. And then I'm going to pull this up. And then I'm going to add glue. Now, you're going to want to let this dry a bit, you guys. So I wouldn't glue and start decorating right away, okay? You want to make sure your pages are nice and secure. I've got tape and I've got glue. And you're going to have enough room. Again, you're 1, 2, or 3 inches. If it's 1 inch, use 1. 2 inches, use 2 pages. 3 inches, use 3 pages. You're going to have enough room to not put it right up against the edge, but just a little over, and not at the very bottom, just a little room. So as you can see here, I left a little bit of room here, and I left a little bit of room here. And I have glue and I have tape, and you're going to want to give it time to dry, guys. Don't get overzealous and think you're going to start decorating this right away, because you're not. In fact, what I did last time when I made my last one, I got those binder clips or paper clips and clip it closed. Clip it closed. I really need to clean up my desk. Let me see what I got here. I had some binder clips. Let me see if I still have some. Not readily available, but here's a paper clip. So a big paper clip would be good to hold it in place, or like I said, a binder clip, something that's going to hold it in place and give it time to dry. Okay, so there's your first page. Now there's a couple ways you can go about this. Let's just take that down and just fold this over. Okay. See, it's already starting to come up. You gotta give it time to dry. I need to find my clips. I don't know where they're at though. I'm gonna grab my paper clips. Hold on one second. Yeah, I don't know where they're at. Hey, Sharon. All right, so I have these clips here. I'm going to just clip on to hold in place. Okay. All right. So you're going to do the same exact thing for page 2 and page 3. I know, right? I got to get over that cough, though, before I go on the ship, though. Don't want to be coughing on the ship. All right. So there's that. Again, I'm using double-sided tape. And then I'm going to add glue. So double-sided tape and then glue. So did anybody partake in the Black Friday sale for crafts? Surprisingly, I have not. I've been looking at those die cutting machines, the electric ones, but I haven't pulled the plug yet. Alright, so I'm trying to think how I want to do this. I'm going to do the edge first, and then we'll put the third one right in the middle. Alright, so try to line it up with, you know, your other one. You want your pages to be even, I guess, right? You want your pages to be even. You want to let them dry, or else you'll be sorry. Kim, how was your slumber party, your craft slumber party? Alright, so again, you need to have patience with this. I know we want to jump in and start decorating, but you really got to have patience. So that's page 2. And then the third page, you're just going to stick right in the middle. Right smack dab in the middle. So let's see. Let's do this one next. Just a PJ party. Okay. All right. That sounds like fun. And then again, page 3. Because my spine is 3 inches, I'm using 3 pages. If it was 1 inch, I'd use 1 page. If it was 2 inches, yes, I'd use 2 pages. 2 inches, 2 pages. All right, so let's just stick this right in the middle here. And then let's just try to line this up with the other pages. There you go. Now, you might be thinking, wow, there's a big gap in between each page, but remember, you're going to be filling these with ephemera and pockets and bulk. So you need that room. So don't feel like you, I say don't feel like, definitely don't butt these up right next to each other, because when you actually go to use the book, you're going to have a problem because you're not going to have any room to put all your stuff in it. All right, so definitely follow my direction as far as placement of your pages, because if you don't, when you go to use your book, you're going to be really sorry that you don't have more room for all your ephemera stuff. So that's how you put the pages together. I've got all these little clips going on here because I'm trying to hold it in place, but you really want to make sure that you give it drying time. You deleted the emails, Robin? That's a lot of willpower for you, girl. Alright, so I'm just readjusting. Yeah, I'm really trying to use what I have. In fact, I might even do a de-stash after the first of the year. We'll see. I'll let you guys know if I do. Because I still have a lot, too much stuff. Alright, so there's my pages. And as you can see, when they're open, you've got that little waterfall going on. Don't get over ambitious and want to start decorating it right away. Alright, so once you have your pages together, just let them be. Let them dry. And then you can start kind of figuring out your paper. I mean, you can start cutting your paper, you know, and figuring that out without messing with your spine. Yes, Delina, I'm going to pick up tomorrow on this. Wherever we leave off today, we'll pick up tomorrow at 1 o'clock tomorrow. And we should finish the book tomorrow. And then on Sunday, we'll make ephemera to go inside the book. Alright, so this is drying. The next thing you want, I mean, that's pretty much how you put the book together, guys. Does anybody have any questions, comments, concerns, confusion? Speak now. And I'm just opening and closing these, folding them, making sure my page isn't coming up. And if it is, I'll have to add a little bit more glue. But like I said, you want these to be secure. I have the live already scheduled for tomorrow, guys. So you should be ready to go. Alright. The next thing we want to do here is we want to decorate. Let's decorate the inside and the outside, because we can still not touch our pages because we're just trying to let them chill a little bit, you know, and not open up. I'm going to do that and do that. Will using a crop-a-dial help hold your pages in place? You can hold your pages in place however you'd like, Kim. If you want to do a crop-a-dial and do string and sew it, you can absolutely do that. I did not, and as you can see, my pages hold fine. You just have to let it dry. But if that makes you feel better, definitely. If you have strong enough glue and give it dry time, your pages will be fine. All right, let's decorate. So I have this paper here, Cityscapes. I've had it for a very long time, so I think it's time that I use it. I think this is going to be my front. So we could maybe try to figure that out. Let's see. And then maybe I'll just make that my back. I don't know yet. But I like this. And I might be able to make it fit. We'll figure that out. Alright, so my page, again, my front page is 5 1/4 by 7 1/2. Okay, so let's see what this is. This is 7. And all I need is 5 1/4. So I'm going to definitely keep the Cityscape. So 5 1/4. So it's going to probably be cut. I can cut out this box here and I think I'll be fine. So let's do that first. So let's see here. I'm just going to cut here. I know I'm going to use that picture for my front cover. So we're just gonna do this, and then we'll trim it to what we need. I know I'm going to end up cutting it shorter, but let's just get it down to a piece that's a little bit more manageable. And then we'll get out the paper trimmer. Alright, so let's see. This needs to be 7 1/2, alright? So let's see how tall this is. This is, see, that's 7 1/2. So I actually would be okay to cut this. So let's just cut it down a little bit more. Yeah, I love Graphic 45. I was like everybody else, though. I would buy it and never use it, and I'm so over that. I use my stuff now just because I don't. If we ever move again, I'm told I'm not allowed to have all my crafts, all this crafting stuff can't go with me. All right, let me get my trimmer. Okay, so I've got my trimmer. We know this is 7 1/2, right? So I'm gonna need a bigger, I guess we can measure it. Let's see. I know I'm gonna cut off this part here, so let's just start there. let's start right there. And let's see, this is 5 1/4. I keep measuring it because I don't trust myself. 5 1/4. All right. So this is definitely larger than 5 1/4, right? So let's start with this side first, because we're gonna keep the word. So let me cut this, and then let me see what 5 1/4 is. 5 1/4 is right there. Do we want to cut a little bit more? Let's see, maybe a little bit, right? Okay. So 5 1/4. Measuring it again because I don't trust myself. This is the top 5. It is 5 1/4. All right. How many times do we have to measure it? If it changes, then we'll all be surprised. All right, we're gonna just go for it. 5 1/4. There it is. 5 1/4. Saving that. And then the height was, so we said 7 1/2, right? Yeah, 7 1/2. So let me cut that. All right. Okay. Just making sure my pages have enough time to adhere, find their home. Pretty good, pretty good. Hey, Deidre. All right. So now that we have our pages, you see how nice that looks? Now here's the thing, guys. If you don't want to turn this into a cluster book, you can easily turn this into a journal book at this point. I mean, this pretty much is a journal book. You've got all these pages, right? You've got a very sturdy background, or back spine, I should say. And you've got all these lovely pages. I'm going to give you the link to these pages that I use because it's what I've been using and it works great. So now, all we need to do is decorate it. All right. I should have grabbed another cough drop. No, there they are. I thought I had them. All right. Excuse me. Okay. Now, to decorate your book, couple ways you can do this. On my Christmas book, I added tape along the edge. Do I love it? I don't know. I mean, if you don't want to have those corners, this is a good way to do that. Another good way to do that, to hide those, is when you cover your spine, have it come over a little bit, right? I mean, we can do that. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. So when you go to do the spine, you're going to score it, right? But make it come over just a little bit. Am I crazy about that? I'm really not, because it will affect when you open it. You're going to have a little pooch here. I like the fact that this is organic and it opens and closes really nicely already. So if you're okay with it, I'd say just leave the corner as it is. Just cut, cut really precise so you don't have some of your Cheez-Its box showing. And if you have a little bit showing, that's okay. It's not that big of a deal. But I've made a few of these. This one, I did not put that spine, and I kind of like it better. All right. So now that you could use fabric tape for sure. But again, I don't like the little pooch that you get on some of them. But again, you might be able to make it work. All right, so before you glue this down, to make your life easier, just cut another piece exactly the same size. Use this as your template, so you're not having to measure 1,000 times like I was. Make your life easier. Love this one. Thinking I'll use this. That's awesome. What did I say? This is gonna be the spine, I think. Because I like that. Or, let me see, should I make that the spine? Nah. Okay, so this is going to be my spine right there. And then I'm going to have just a kind of a plain background. Let me see. I might just use the back of this. All right. So let's cut this. This is 7.5. What is this? 7.5 by 5 1/4. Let me cut this really quick. All right. So let's see what I got here. Okay, so here's my front and my back. And then, whoops, throwing my paper all over the place. And then this is going to be my spine. Alright. Trying to see, is that too short? It better not be too short. Maybe just a little. What's this? No, that's right. Okay. How wide is that? This is a little, it's 2 3/4. It's not quite 3. So I can cut that. So 2 3/4. There's 3. Yes, single-sided paper would be awesome, Robin. So that way you don't have to choose which side to use, right? Alright, so I'm going to... Now the back, you want to have precise, because if you don't, you're going to have little wings hanging out. And you don't want that on the back panel. So try to make the back panel as precise as possible. And I would start there before you glue the front. So let's just see if we can... See, I still think maybe an eensy beensy bit. Just a smidge. I mean, this is how much we cut, guys. Very thin. All right. Let's get this baby going here. Walnut stain, of course. Alright, so just getting rid of that white edge a little bit. Excuse me. Goodness. I should be over this cough by now. I used all my medication. My husband's threatening me to have to go back to the doctor. Such a pain. Alright, so let's glue this down. You can glue the paper, you can glue the box. I'm going to glue the box. I can just put lots. Now, on a project like this, I would definitely recommend wet glue. Because with tape, once you stick it, man, you're stuck with it. That's it. Alright. But with wet glue, you can move it around a bit. Alright. I know, I don't want to go back though. I mean, I went through all of my medication. If I'm still coughing like this on Sunday, I'll go in before the trip, because then maybe they can give me some more medication. Because once I'm on the ship, that's it. I even got hand sanitizer, and I got the wipe sanitizers so I can wipe down the stateroom. I don't want anybody's cooties. Alright, that looks pretty good. And then the front will go like that, right? Yeah, looks good. Okay. All this glue here. Now, if you guys need some of this wet glue, I still have some in the shop. I've been using it, so my supply is getting lower and lower. But I use these for my journals, and it's such strong glue. It works so well. Alright, so let's see if we can see. There's a little bit of color, but that's okay. I think that's going to be alright. We are flying out of Billings on Friday afternoon, and the cruise leaves on Saturday at 4. So, yeah, we just checked in today. Got our check-in time for the ship. Yep. It's pretty good. See if I can get that as close to the edge as possible. I can usually control my cough. I think my cough medicine is wearing out by now. I haven't been coughing all day, believe it or not. It's just all of a sudden I'm coughing because I need to take another dose of my cough medicine. That Robitussin DM works pretty well for me. Alright, so just making sure this is nice and glued. When you close it, and this is what I was talking about. You might see some corner here. This is where you can choose to put the fabric tape, you know, or paper. Like I said, I've used this before. And you can do that after the fact. I haven't decided if I'm going to do it yet. I can see the red of the box. So I might use washi tape. I haven't decided, but I can decide that later. It's a Mexico trip. 7 nights, 8 days. Mazatlan, Puerto Vallarta, Cabo, and somewhere else. I can't remember. Puerto Vallarta, did I say that? Alright, ooh, that looks good. There you go. So yeah, so if you don't like that showing through, which I have to decide what I'm going to do. You can put an edge on. I mean, maybe I'll do that. But I'll decide later. Alright, so we're going with my son and his roommate. Trim this down here. Alright, so that looks pretty good. Alright, so there's your front and your back. You can put something on the edge if you want to. Tomorrow when we pick up again, you'll see what I decided. I haven't decided yet. Alright, so let's do the back. And that's right here. Right? So, let's see. Yeah, last Christmas, my son decided that instead of doing Christmas, we should do a cruise. So this is what we're doing instead of him coming out here. We're doing a cruise. Alright, so I'm glad that we get along so well with my son. He's not married or anything like that, so he still likes to vacation with us. Alright, that looks pretty good, I think. What do you guys think? So not too hard, right? Not too difficult. I mean, once you've got the book together, it's just a matter of decorating it. I'm just trying to get this to stay put here. Now, if you decide to put stuff on the corners, you can. I mean, I could do something like that easily, right? Let me just see here how that would look. I have to glue it down. I mean, I guess this is thin, so it probably would be okay. Should we put this on the corners, you guys? I don't think it will obstruct the closing of the book too much. What do you think? Yeah? Maybe we'll do this. I guess I'm committed now because I've added glue. Let's see. Just trying to put this right in the middle. That's pretty good, I think. Move it over just a little bit. Let's let that dry. I guess I am adding stuff on the corners. I mean, what I would say is just make sure it doesn't obstruct the closing. When you glue it down, you know, close your book. Make sure it still closes and opens nice. And that's pretty good. This tape is really thin, so it's not too bad. Yeah, it matches pretty well. It's thin, but see, this is what I'm talking about, that little bump right there. But for the most part, the book will be closed. I mean, yeah. I don't know. I just don't like that little poof you get when you open it up. You see that? Can you see that? I don't like it. But you gotta choose your battles, I guess. So we'll let that dry. Okay. Where are we at with time here, guys? So we've gone a little over an hour. All right, so let's kind of recap this, and then you guys are going to have homework. So when you do your book, if I had to say anything about the most important part, is give your pages time to dry. Because if you don't, when we start decorating them and filling them, I read the front and the back. Yeah, maybe, Tina, maybe. But give your pages time to dry, because once you start adding paper and adding your ephemera pieces, it's going to start to get heavy and your pages will come out. I speak from experience, okay? So don't get overzealous. I know we all get excited when it comes to decorating our books, but you know, let the structure of the book dry before you jump into decorating it. I mean, I think you can probably decorate the outside like I did, because your pages, you're not really tugging on your pages or anything. I'm going to work on the pages tomorrow before we meet, but you can at least get the structure of the book together. And then once you decorate the outside, just get your paper and decorate each page. Once you have the pages decorated, then we'll add pockets and whatnot. But the first thing you want to do is you want to decorate every surface. So whatever paper, you know, you decide to use, decorate your pages. So that's the next step for this. And that's really what I wanted to show you today, is how to structurally put the book together. And then as far as, you know, gluing down pages, you don't need me for that. You guys know how to do that. So just, you know, take some time, find the paper you want to use, and then decorate your pages. And then once we have the pages decorated, then we can start. See, I don't even have this one completely done. We can start putting all of our little pages in our pockets and our tucks. See, these are all flashcards I have in here. I have pages here. This is one of the dies. I'll show you which die I used for this tomorrow. But yeah, you want to get the structure of the book together first, and then tomorrow we'll put together all the fun little pockets. See, I don't even have this one completely done. But so that's what we'll do tomorrow, guys. If you've been playing along, your homework for the night, is to add paper to all your pages, okay? Make sure you let your pages dry completely before you start getting crazy with your decorating. But because tomorrow we're going to jump in and we're going to start making our pockets and our tucks and all that good stuff. And I don't want us to necessarily waste time just gluing down paper onto our pages. Okay? So that's day one. Tomorrow we're going to meet, and we're going to meet at 1 o'clock. Okay? And however long it takes us, probably like an hour and a half, something like that. And then on Sunday, our book should be completely done tomorrow. In fact, I might make a few of these. These are really cute. Maybe I'll put them in the store. But anyway, we're going to finish it off tomorrow. And then on Sunday, we're going to make ephemera pieces to fill our book. All right? So not too terrible. Hopefully you guys understood the process for putting this ephemera book together. Like I said, you can make them any sizes. Just kind of use the standard for how many inches your back is. 1 inch, 1 page, 2 inches, 2 pages, 3 inches, 3 pages. And then your pages are 1/2 inch each, you know, when you glue them down. And then most important, make sure you give your pages time to dry, or else you will be really disappointed when they start to come out. All right, everybody, I will see you tomorrow for part 2 of our book. And hopefully I'll do my homework too and decorate my pages. And we'll finish off this baby tomorrow. All right, y'all, have a great evening, and we'll see you tomorrow at 1 o'clock. All right, bye.